exhausting because you feel like you've been putting the work every single day to become that person, and yet it's just not arriving. The emotions that you feel are real, but something keeps resetting within you. Now that is the exact problem. If you've been visualizing, affirming, feeling all of the emotions that you know you should feel, doing all of the manifestation practice that you know on top of your head, but nothing seems to be enough, nothing is changing, you feel like you've been doing everything, but yet there's no result, or it's not the result that you want it to be. Well, let me tell you the good thing. You're probably not doing anything wrong. You're just misunderstanding a couple of things, and I'm going to explain to you what it is. I'll tell you why your techniques feel real and working in the moment, but not after that. Maybe something doesn't stick. I'll also tell you the exact trap most people fall after doing these techniques or whatever they're currently doing to get their dream reality right now. The shift that actually make manifestation and all of these techniques work, and a simple practice to stop sabotaging yourself. Because if you have these thoughts on top of your head, you're probably sabotaging yourself way more than you should. Okay, please be graceful to yourself. We've all been there. You don't need to negative talk yourself. You don't need to harm yourself. It's all part of the learning process. When it comes to the beginning era of me manifesting, I've been through all of these feelings that I just mentioned to you. The feeling of, I'm not doing enough. I must be doing something wrong here because where is the result? Even up to this point, I still have those feelings creeped up on me every now and then. It's all normal. We're all human beings, and you don't to beat yourself up because you don't see any progress or you have these thoughts in the first place. So let me show you what changed, how I became more confident and comfortable in what I'm manifesting, so you can replicate this. You can also become the best version of yourself, because we all deserve to live our dream life. Now, the reason why I want to create this video is not only because I've been there, but I saw a post in Reddit that reminds me of where I used to be also, and I know that for a lot of people, we've all been in that beginning stage. If you want to be a content creator, you must start somewhere, like me. I'm in the learning process of creating a YouTube video, how to actually share my knowledge, capture it, package it in a way that people actually want to click my video and watch it. There's still a lot of learning process. And let me tell you this right now, especially if you're in the beginning phase of doing something, like for example, manifesting in this video's topic. A lot of people will feel ashamed and will compare themselves to the people who are way above their level, to people who are doing better than them. We are human, we have those emotions. But the funny thing is, we blame ourselves for not doing good enough when we're starting something. Whereas, again, back to the content creation example, if you want to be a content creator, the successful content creator, the ones who have loving community, who have huge subscribers, and maybe you want monetization, also start somewhere. They're not gonna judge you for posting your first video. Same with the people who are jacked in the gym. I remember my first time going to the gym, not knowing anything, was really, really scary. I was afraid that I was doing everything wrong and people might judge me. People might notice that I don't know what I'm doing. And the truth is, yes, I don't know what I'm doing, but they're probably also in my position some time ago. They're also a beginner at some point in their life. So there's actually no reason for us to be ashamed, because who we want to become, the process to get there is pretty normal. You want to become a successful business owner. You're scared of your first product being judged. Well, the business owner who's successful now, who's worldwide known, probably has made those mistakes also in the first place. The higher version of who you want to become, especially your higher self, won't judge you for going through all of this. That's the first thing that I want to remind to you, and that's also the reason why I want to make this video. Now, when we first started manifesting, when we learn all of the fun stuff about the world, the woo-woo stuff, the things that makes you go, oh my god, it's that simple, we started to feel confident. We know all of the theories, we know what we need to do, we just need to act upon it. So there you go. You do your affirmations, you know that, okay, I have to embody the higher version of myself. I need to visualize every day, create my mood boards, look at it every single day, and truly embody that person. But then after a while, nothing changes, and you're like, am I doing something wrong? Does it just not apply to me? Am I not lucky enough? You started to have all of these little doubts, even if it's not as extreme as, you feel like you're not the chosen one. If you still have doubts that you can achieve what you want, ultimately at some point you will feel frustrated. You will feel annoyed. Now that frustration is the gap between knowing and having, between feeling it and actually living the life. Few people actually tell their story about what happens in the middle of this gap. Like, they will either tell you the very bad side of their story, like, oh, I used to not have any money and now I'm up here, right? But they don't really tell you about the process. Probably they tell you that they work hard for it, or, they do these practical things. But the gap is actually very simple. You're just not used to being that higher version of yourself yet. You're not used to living it. The pattern usually goes like this. You visualize, you feel it deeply within yourself, all the emotions that you want to feel. and then you feel amazing. So you go by your day and some things came up. Things always came up on our life, and then you start realizing, you started to check on your reality, the 3D reality that you're seeing right now, the very small pieces of reality that you're seeing right now. And you're probably like, okay, where is it? Why am I not seeing any progress? Why is it not here yet? Doubts started to creep in. And then you're back to square one. You're back to visualizing again and maybe implementing new techniques, maybe reading more books, watching more videos, and the cycle just goes on and on. It is exhausting because you feel like you've been putting the work every single day to become that person, and yet it's just not arriving. The emotions that you feel are real, but something keeps resetting within you. Now that is the exact problem. The problem is you kept going back to check on reality after you visualize, after you feel everything, after you affirm it. You go back to your life and ask, where is it? You started to find any differences that you feel within your life. That tiny moment of checking, even if you're not aware that you're actually checking, it's probably usually at the back of your mind. That small thing is what actually breaking your progress towards getting what you want, towards being the person that you want to become. What you probably haven't implemented yet is the will to maintain. And totally, this is not your fault. Once you know this, don't go, now it's all my fault. I knew it. There's something wrong inside of me. No, please, don't. We only accept positivity. We have been conscious of our 3D reality more than we have been with our unconscious mind. So this is totally normal. If you started doubting, even just a little bit, if you started to have fear, even just a little bit, that is all normal. Because again, we have been living with doubt, with fear, with worry all of our life. It's not that simple to just flip the narrative. And especially if you're not used to it. Your body is still waiting for proof. We all know that our mind is a little bit stubborn, and it needs to see evidence before it can agree with what you put inside your mind. So of course it's hard for you in the beginning to determine whether that's yours or not, to say that, okay, this is done, this is mine, I will embody this person, because your mind still sees that you're someone who doesn't have it yet. Your mind is not used to seeing you in that new personality, in that new version of yourself. As harsh as it can seem, especially if you're the type of person who used to be so harsh with yourself, who never acknowledge your wins, who's always comparing yourself to others and feel like you're lacking, you need to become better, like there's something that you need to fix within yourself, of course it's going to be hard for you, for your mind to immediately think, oh yeah, you're actually there, congrats. Yeah, that's the annoying part of our mind. So you're basically not yet in the having frequency, you're still in the waiting frequency without you realizing it. And again, completely fine, because nobody really taught us how to actually trust in ourselves and in the universe. We rarely put trust into anything, maybe to others, but not to ourselves, who's actually responsible in creating the dream life. There's also an idea from the book, The Power of Now. If you take a look at yourself now, your situation now, everything as now, like right now, like in this exact moment, whatever negative feeling that you have, whether that's lack, unworthiness, you're not feeling confident enough in yourself. Well, in this exact moment, you're not lacking anything. If you're not feeling confident, you can bring in that confidence within yourself now. Most of our life, we tend to feel like you need to do this thing. You have to feel a certain way. You have to act a certain way in order for you to feel complete. And yeah, that's coming from lackness and not wholeness. And the universe will respond to you being in that state. Again, whatever you're emitting to the universe, the energy that you have currently, even if you know you want abundance, but you're emitting the energy of lack, the universe is going to take notes on that, unfortunately, and give you more lack. So you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are being. So you can affirm yourself every single day, you can visualize every single day, but you're actually being someone who's trying to manifest, who's still hoping this would work, who's still wanting things to go right. And that's the proof that you're giving to the universe. You want more trying, you want more hoping, then the universe is going to give you more experiences for you to try even more, to hope even more, which is annoying. I know. Because of this, you want to change the person who's doing the affirmation, who's doing the visualization, who's doing all of the techniques. You change the perspective of the person who's doing it, then you will see result. Assumption isn't something that you force, it's something you become. You're not trying to become worthy. You're remembering who you already are, that version of you who's already worthy. And then you take action that comes from that alignment. At the beginning, don't worry. Please, again, don't be harsh on yourself. Your body's still not used to it, so it is natural for you to feel anxious, to feel like you're out of place. The key here is not to immediately change within a day, but to slowly notice it, being aware of your state of mind every now and then. Once you catch yourself being in that wanting state, being in that waiting state, you alter it. You remind yourself gracefully, nicely, that you don't have anything to worry about because you're already that person. That higher version of yourself won't even worry about this thing, won't even feel like they're waiting because they're already there. So you need to be able to catch the cause before it actually turns into effect. After visualization, don't just forget about what you're visualizing. Actually become that person. What would you do next if you're already that person? What action would you take? What would you feel on a day-to-day basis? Actually embody that and take action on that. And again, as I've mentioned before, you have to be aware of your state on a day-to-day basis. So you need to constantly ask yourself, who am I being in this exact moment? Am I someone who's trying to manifest, or am I someone who's already manifested the things that they want? Who is the version that has all of this? How would they react? How would they be waking up every single day? Action without the right state of mind, without the right frequency, will always be in vain. To reinforce this even further within my day-to-day life, I have an operating system in my Notion that I use also daily along with my task tracker. So whenever I check in and see what task that I should tackle next, that is a sign for me to remind myself, who am I at that exact moment? Am I actually becoming the person who I want to become? Is it based off alignment or is it based off fear? Is this the old me operating or is this the future me? So having these little reminders integrated within your daily life will be such a game changer. It's literally like habit stacking. You stack an action that you want it to be a habit on top of a habit that you've already been doing. I have tasks that I want to tackle every day. I wrote it down on Notion. Notion is literally like my life OS. And I simply just integrated that habit of awareness, of noticing, into that other habit of writing to-do lists. That way I'm not only working externally, physically, not only working on the outer side of the world, but also internally. Because again, the most important thing is to set the right frequency, set the right state of mind before you actually take any action. So if I take action without me realizing that I'm operating out of fear from my old self, then the action that I'm going to take is not going to work, or it's just going to be harder for it to work. One last thing, the idea that I always fail to understand or interpret into my life is the idea of taking a pause. Resting seems scary, feels like you're falling behind. Your competitors are waking up, grinding every single day, and you're stuck here, just not doing anything? It feels like you're regressing. And if you feel like you're regressing, that's the exact outcome that you're gonna get. You're gonna fall behind simply because you have that thought in the first place. You have a bad connotation of rest. Subconsciously, you are afraid of taking a pause, taking a rest, because you keep fixating on it. Because you believe that to be true, the universe is actually going to implement that and make it true to you. Whereas, truthfully, we as humans, we work best when you have clarity. When you go on short walks where you don't really engage with your phone, or you're taking a shower, you're not listening to any music, usually that's the best time for you to get new ideas, new creativity flowing into your mind. And that's literally the same as resting, like resting your brain. Especially in this digital era where our brain is overstimulated every single day, your brain never took a rest, which is very sad if you think about it. But sometimes we just caught up in the chaotic side of the world. We don't realize that our brain also needs rest. And rest doesn't mean doom scrolling. Nah, that's not the way to go. Resting simply just means you rest your brain. You let it stop for a second. You pause it. Because when you put your brain on pause, it can rejuvenate. It can start noticing things that you haven't noticed before. It can actually become more powerful. You can actually choose what thoughts that you want to focus on, not the lack energy, not the negativity, but you want to implant new thoughts. So we indeed need to work. Of course, work still matters, but we're not doing it in a hurry. We're not doing it in a sense that because if we're not doing it, then we're falling behind or we're not progressing. That's not it. You work because that's your passion and you're already there. Once you've claimed to the universe that this is your dream life, this is who you want to become, let it go. Raise your hand out and let the universe do the work. You trust that it's done. You trust that your higher self will lead you to that outcome that you want. Then take breaks and don't beat yourself up. When you stop beating yourself, you also build more trust within yourself. And when you have self-trust, you're not constantly checking in and seeing how much progress you made or what you're lacking. No. You're peaceful now. You let it go because you know you're already that person. What is there to worry about? You're not doing anything wrong. You're probably just reality checking too often, more than you need to. That's what actually paused your progress. What you want to stop doing is operating from the I'm waiting state, but from the I'm having it state. Stop constantly checking on reality, because if you're already that person, you're not gonna check anything. Literally, there's nothing to check about. And finally, rest in it. Let it be done. It is already done. It's all about being that person. Become the new you first, then watch everything change. That's all of the insights that I have for this video. Let me know if this helps you or if you relate to this video. Just comment down below. relate, and because you watched till the end of this video, I trust that you will get to that next phase of your life immediately, instantly. Everything you've ever wanted in your life, boom, you got it. Simply because you claim it, you actually became that person. Amazing. The Notion OS that I just showed you, I am actually planning to launch that for the whole entire world, basically. And I want to know if any of you would be interested in testing that new product. If you are interested, there's a link below. Basically, it's just a form. Probably takes you 2 to 3 minutes to answer all of the questions, where I ask you about the things that you have experienced and what would you want this product to be. Because again, the problem that I notice happens to most people, and also myself, that I'm still struggling with even probably until now, is maintaining that new frequency, maintaining that identity of your new self. So I want to build, just like I've shown you before, a reference point, a reinforcement within your day-to-day life to make sure that you embody your new self gracefully. Without a doubt, every single day you are becoming that person. And yeah, so if you're interested, please help me fill out the form below and I'll send you the actual product for you to test it out and give me any feedbacks that you have. Other than that, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Bye bye.